Welcome to Rusty Shackelford's Grizzly Reviews. I'm Rusty Shackelford. I'm here today with Poseidon, and we just saw Goosebumps.
These are all Goosebumps manuscripts. Why are these books locked? Did you unlock a book?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'll put it back where it belongs. Look, here it is.
No, don't open it!
Goosebumps is a story of Steve Fentonberg as he attempts to break the record for individual street luge. This uplifting tale shows the conflict that a transgender Martian must endure in 2090's French Detroit. With an all-star cast ready to pull at your heartstrings, this fortune-telling documentary is full of surprises and guest appearances, most notably by the Beastie Boys. So one way or another, I think you're either going to like this film or you're not going to like it. This film is for people that have a lot of nostalgia for Goosebumps, or you're just fun of that preteen campy kind of horror.
Or you're seven.
Or you're seven. This is a fun film. It definitely has a lot of problems, I feel like, and there's some huge gaping plot holes and things that don't necessarily make sense. But at the same time, the characters are the most important part of this, and they're done really well. I think the strongest point of the film is its casting, and those actors just really pulling out fun, likable people, and I'm wanting to see them do crazy, ridiculous things and fight various monsters. It really just kind of hits the ground running. The film starts off, with an introduction of Zach and his mom moving to this town in the middle of Delaware, this know-nothing town, and him trying to get acclimated to that. And then it picks up immediately when he meets his neighbor Hannah, who is the daughter of soon to be discovered that it's R.L. Stine, and his friend that comes along with him, Champ, to kind of help figure things out. It really, half an hour into the movie is in full swing. I thought it was going to take a lot longer. I thought we were going to be probably about 45 minutes to where half an hour maybe things start to trickle in, and then you don't really hit the climax of all the monsters being unleashed until closer to the final 3/4 of the film.
I will say I was kind of disappointed with Ryan Lee's character, Champ. I do feel like that it was going to be like this nerd who shines, and I felt like his real power was going to be in his knowledge of the books, and that never really came about, which was actually surprising.
I totally thought from the trailer and the previews that I saw that we're going to fight the monsters by him knowing the end of all the Goosebump books and stuff like that, because he talks about all the ones he's read, and I thought that was going to be a strong point of the film.
Yeah, and I mean, they set it up too. R.L. Stine was clearly having memory lapses about which characters he had created and which ones he hadn't at various times. So it was like, we need this outside guy, kind of a younger, quicker, nerdy guy to kind of fill in and fill that role, at least.
Yeah, the film is saved by the strong performance of the characters, but I feel like it could have been a lot better if there was more focus on them actually problem solving, and then instead of just running away from the monsters, which is pretty much the entire movie. There's not a lot of combatancy going on. It's basically just get away and go to the next area where they can try to figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it flows really well. I think once you get past the luge scene, the movie is really about R.L. Stine and his ability to bring his characters to life. So he writes them down, puts them in a book, and those characters come alive. The exact opposite of George R.R. Martin. You just laugh.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess that's accurate.
So yeah, I mean, the movie is pretty campy, pretty predictable. I think that we'd both agree that you never really felt like it was scary or there's any question about what the outcome was going to be. But then again, it's a kids movie, and I do think that it really followed kind of the Goosebumps tradition in that.
Oh, it's weird. It's weird campy horror too. It's not just campy horror, and like, it's just bizarre. I never felt that things weren't going to be okay, but at the same time, I also thought there was a lot of tension in the scenes, and I didn't know when that end was coming necessarily. The choice of Slappy as the main villain was perfect. I really can't think of any other Goosebump character that would shine nearly as well or be as recognizable. I read a lot of the Goosebump books as a kid, and I'm trying to remember a lot of them. On the car ride back, I was just trying to think and name off the ones that I could, and there weren't a ton, but Slappy was definitely one of those characters. I didn't feel like any of the relationships were really cheap in this. Zach has a love interest with R.L. Stine's daughter, Hannah, And it felt natural. It felt, it definitely felt like, she was a little too eager to be with him, but she's also supposed to be this repressed daughter with R.L. Stine keeping her locked inside the house at all times. Everything felt really well together. I thought all the characters meshed very well, and I enjoyed all the comedy between the side characters. Jillian Bell from Workaholics is actually in this. She plays Lorraine, Zach's mom's sister, who lives in this town and does bedazzled jewelry and makes hats, but she's really funny.
Yeah, but at the same time, if I had got to cut 10 minutes out of the movie, I would have completely removed the Coach Carr character. That he seemed forced. It didn't seem that hilarious. I don't think he helped the scenes.
I liked him. He plays this sleazy coach trying to hit on, hit on Zach's mom. I don't know. I liked him. I like him in a lot of the other things that he's into. So maybe it's just rubbing off on that.
I love the actor, but I do feel like that never went anywhere. It was a side plot that they devoted time to that never went anywhere.
Well, so the big thing that I think this movie does well is it does gags at as many opportunities as possible. Like, there's not a lot of completely wasted scenes where situational things happen and nothing progresses. There's always some reason for a scene or some kind of joke occurring there, and it just makes a very good use of the time on the screen. That said, I feel like a lot of the downside of the film is that it is very monotone, and that there isn't a lot of variance in the kind of gags that occur overall.
I will say, though, I thought the gag with the werewolf, where you defeat the werewolf by biting it, is a great gag. And I'm pretty sure that came from the books itself, but I thought that was really fantastic.
No, I thought that was really funny. It was in the trailer, so I kind of knew that was coming. I caught that before. But no. Champ coming to the rescue with a bite to the werewolf was entertaining, at least. And that's really, sadly, that's the only time Champ really shines throughout the entire movie.
Right.
So I guess in general, I don't know. This isn't really a complex one. There's not a lot to talk about here. It's if you like the kind of campy stuff, if you like the teen horror, if you still watch R.L. Stine's Haunting Hour, or you watched Erie, Indiana, or any of the myriad of shows just like this, you'll like this kind of thing. And if you didn't get into those, if that wasn't your stick, then I'd avoid it.
Also, if you're 7, I think it's a really good movie. I think the plot is complex for a child, and it doesn't miss on those points. But then again, as an adult, obviously there's going to be some downfall to it.
No, I feel the best comparison of the Goosebumps movie is a Goosebumps novel, and it's right at that level where there are a ton of weird things, there are a ton of probable plot holes and bad decisions made by characters, but that's part of what the story is, and that's part of its charm at the same time. This is something that I would maybe watch again.
I do feel like I'm gonna have to give it 2 ratings though. If you're a child or an adult that likes the books, I think it's a solid 7. But if not, I think it struggles to meet like that 6 barrier.
I was just gonna give it a 7 through and through. This is one of those films that it's not a great film, but it still has plenty of charm, and there's still good reasons to watch it. So hats off to Robert Letterman, who directed this, and for the rest of the cast. The cast made this movie. They give every bit of the charm that's going on here, and it was just a general enjoyable film.
I do think we need to give a shout out to Movie Tavern, who gave us free tickets because they interrupted the middle of the film with a fire alarm. So
yeah, thanks Movie Tavern. Yeah, hats off. I look forward to coming back and maybe getting burned alive in the theater again, and then starring in my own haunting film. With that said, I'm Rusty Shackelford with Rusty Shackelford's Grizzly Reviews,
and I'm Poseidon.
If you check out the movie, let us know how you feel about it. We always like to hear opinions from our listeners, and we hope that you check out our next review soon.
I was a rock tour manager, and this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to tour with my act.
To Afghanistan?